I have to say it, Joel's death in episode 2 of The Last of Us is actually better than how it was in the game. Don't get me wrong, his death in the game was traumatizing and brutal. But when you break it down from a storytelling perspective, the show gives us something more layered in a completely different way. So here are my reasons why Joel's death is better in the show than it was in the game. But before we get started, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more analysis videos. So let's get into it. In order to understand this setup, we need to understand the concepts of suspense and shock. Alfred Hitchcock described this perfectly with two scenarios. Scenario 1, two characters are talking at a table and suddenly a bomb goes off. And that's it. It's just for shock value. Doesn't leave much of an impact with the audience, does it? But in scenario 2, we see the bomb being planted under the table and afterwards the characters have their chat. That right there is suspense, and now the whole scene feels different. We're sitting there now waiting and wondering when is it going to go off. That's where the power of tension and suspense come from. And that's exactly what the show does with Joel's death. In the game, his death is more like scenario 1, with the bomb just going off out of nowhere, you're not expecting it, and even though it hits hard, it's too fast for the audience to process, and then it's over. A beloved character gone at the hands of someone who we don't even know or care about yet. In the show, we know something's wrong the moment Joel and Dina run into Abby. We know who she is, we know why she's there, and from that moment forward, we're wondering when is she going to go off like the bomb. What also really makes this version stronger is how they introduced Abby. In the game, she's just this stranger who shows up and with no context whatsoever, kills a character we grew to love. And because we don't know anything about her, it's easy to just hate her, which many fans did. But in the show, we spend more time with her before Joel's death. We see her mourn her father, have nightmares for approaching his body, talking to a more matured version of herself, and letting everyone know right away how she wants to kill Joel. With Joel finally cornered, we actually feel what this moment means to Abby. Right away, we get to sympathize and give her character a chance. It wasn't enough of just seeing the act, but we finally understand the weight of it now. The suspense doesn't just come from worrying about Joel. It comes from knowing who Abby is almost right away. The show also lets Joel go out with a bit more dignity. He's not just a victim of circumstance anymore. The steps he takes to reach this moment feel more in tune with his character. His priority in this moment was to make sure Dina was safe and checking in on Jackson in the radio. It's only when his back is turned when he falls into the trap. He even tells Abby where the last time he saw the fireflies, not to save himself, but to save Dina, who is now unconscious. On a side note, the way it's revealed to Abby that this is Joel makes a lot more sense considering it was Dina as opposed to Tommy like in the game. Dina calls out to Joel to see if he's alright and probably didn't even see Abby when she did. It definitely makes up for the lack of competence the writers gave to Tommy or Joel in the original. But then there's also this moment where Joel gets to know exactly why this is going to happen to him. You can see it in his eyes that he knew a scenario like this would happen, and he accepts every moment of it. He doesn't panic, he doesn't try to run away or plead for his life, he just takes it like the man he is. It hits differently, and it's something we never really got to sit with in the game because everything happens so fast. In here, Joel gets the breathing room to let everything sink in, and even before Abby delivers the first blow, you can see Joel nodding his head. He's clearly ready, and because of that, it feels much more dignified. Plus, Manny not spitting on his corpse this time was a welcome change. But the biggest reason why I believe the show builds this moment much better is what I said earlier. Suspense only works if the audience knows something the characters don't. In this case, we know who Abby is, we know what Joel did, and we know this isn't going to go well when they meet. It all adds up and builds to the inevitability of this confrontation, which I believe is what storytelling is all about. Needless to say, The Last of Us Part 2 stirred up a lot of controversy, especially around how Joel's death was handled and how hard the game tried to make us sympathize with Abby. The problem wasn't just what happened, it was how it happened. I'm preaching to the choir on this. Abby was never really given the space to be understood before this moment happened in the game. And for a lot of players, no amount of flashbacks or cutscenes made her feel redeemable after what she did. But the show changes this by showing us who Abby is before Joel's death, her grief, her guilt, her humanity. It doesn't try to force us to like her, it just lets us understand her. And that shift from shock to suspense, from confusion to clarity, makes Joel's death feel like more than just a plot device. It feels like the tragic result of two people trying to survive a world that keeps tearing everyone apart. But that's just my take. What do you guys think? Did the show's version hit harder for you too? Or do you still prefer the raw shock of the game? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And if you're really into these deep dives, please leave a like and subscribe for more.